Hello. It's time for your Arcana Astrology Oracle reading. And it's just the Arcana Astrology Oracle reading. The selfies pull will be on the Instagram. Handle is at LLC Tactful. All right, let's go. Fifth house, Leo, siblings. Uranus. Oh, okay. Aries, sibling conflict, sibling rivalry. Lilith, ooh, someone's a force. I instantly hear the story of Joseph. Yeah, I know how his siblings did him. Who else was the other one? He was out back. He said, "Get all my sons," and they just like overlooked. Is it David? No, that's David and Goliath. They overlooked him. Like, no, not him. Okay, yeah. So, why did I feel the need to immediately start going into this? Right? Why do I reference biblical stuff? All this stuff is related. Okay, intersections, people. Look it up if you don't know what it means. Intersectionality is like interdisciplinarian, like not interdisciplinary, but it's like the interdiscipline. Yeah, okay. It's like, how does this relate to this, right? Like if you study psychology at the bachelor's level, you learn a lot of theories and all this other great stuff, right? But the application of those theories isn't relevant just yet because you can't really do much with that degree. Okay, that's my personal opinions. But once you get a master's in it, right, those theories suddenly start to click as you apply them to people, right? Okay, and then say you become a clinical psychologist, then it becomes, being that objective learner, listener, doer, and really developing a patient-doctor relationship, right? Okay, so we're talking, why is all that relevant? Okay, so we're talking about Lilith. Okay, so we're talking about somebody who's a force. Okay, when we talk about like all the siblings and we put them all together, and now remember, Uranus comes out and it's like, ugh, okay, your siblings did you dirty. It is what it is, okay? Like I'm not about to mince words, okay? Your siblings did you dirty, right? Like it's just people who don't support you, don't believe in you. I don't know why that is. It happens sometimes, okay? But for whatever reasons, because they all had their own ways, right? So maybe they were more popular than you at a specific point in the journey, growing up, right? Maybe they just, thought like a lot of things you did were weird, or you just weren't like them, so you were kind of excluded. Sometimes people don't know that they're doing this, okay? But these siblings knew, okay? And then you got like this force, okay? So here it is, like the story is, you were different from them, but it doesn't mean that they don't love you, okay? It just that you're very different from them, and to deal with you requires a lot from them, so they would rather not. But when it muddies the waters, it creates this dynamic where blood is not thicker than water. That these are the people I was born into. These are not the people I will become, okay? So in a weird roundabout way, you become the leader for these same siblings who didn't necessarily exalt some of your cool capabilities, right? Like the stuff that's so cool about you now, they didn't understand it then, but you know that's coming to an end, okay? Like it's coming to an end because they realize, like, moving forward, you the one. You the one. Okay? All right, think Joseph, right? Think of his coat that his father gave him, and it had all the colors, right? But Joseph was a dream interpreter, right? Okay, so are you the tarot card reader? Are you the doctor? Are you the psychologist? I can tell you I'm the only one in my family. All right, so it's one of those things, right? Or always just being able to tap right into people, right? That's been some shit I've been doing since I was little. I could just see people. Pisses people off, okay? But it's like, I don't mean to just see you like that, but I do, and I don't know how to not do that, but it creates its own challenges, right? It creates its own problems. It is what it is. As much as people say, tell me the truth, ain't nobody trying to hear the truth when they're not ready, okay? Why am I telling you that? I don't know. Let's pull. So we've got career. Didn't I just say psychologist, doctor, lawyer, the first of the family? So think about it. Joseph was sold into slavery. He was able to interpret a dream, okay? So whoever you are, whatever you are, you become a force because of something that you're saying, okay? Maybe you become a force because you speak the truth about family dynamics, okay? And you built a career around it, okay? Like I built a career around being able to do community outreach for a variety of different demographics, okay? But I am a therapist. At the core of who I am a therapist, okay? But the next level for me is that of a psychologist, okay? So like I passed all my comps. I just got to write a long ass paper. I can write, but I have ADHD, so I have to focus, and I can't read continuously. I have to take breaks because like something happens or my head starts to hurt, and then like I can't retain the information, okay? It's been weird since I was little, okay? So that's something, like sibling interaction. So it's something people have observed about you since you were little. Since you were little, you were different, okay? Just like Joseph, different. I don't know what would convince people in the family to be like, yeah, let me sell him out, so you know I could feel better about me. So how does that relate to 10th house and career? Well, he ended up, you know, becoming the king, right? And the only way to survive that famine was to be able to come through and be like, hey, sorry for what we did to you, you know, like we didn't know no better, okay? We were children, okay? But we respect where you are now, right? Now, you could be that person who's like, man, I ain't even trying to mess with these people because of all of what they've done. Or you could be the person who's like, cool, I built the career I wanted. I really forgot about y'all, but since you're part of the community that I serve, I got you, you know. So this is really about like you moving into this career, you know, and when we're talking about career reputation, right? Maybe even siblings probably like telling other family members like not so pleasant things about you, right? So they looking at you kind of strange too. Okay, but like, you know, when people look at the career, like when they check your file, when they look at what you've built, it's like, damn, she been the truth the whole time. We over here believing whatever, right? Because remember, the father believed whatever story they made up. They ain't going to look for Joseph. Terrible parenting. Personal opinion, okay? All right, so we got Pisces, hidden knowledge, occult, right? So you got like angels with you, right? Like that sounds weird to say to some people who don't believe in these things, right? But some people do have stronger intuition than others. Some people's instincts work better than others. Some people have always been way more aware of how to navigate the room than others. You seem to have something attached to you that helps you maneuver some of the most, basically, let me put it this way. If it were anybody else, they would not have survived, right? Like your life story that your siblings are aware of could be like, damn, couldn't have been me. But when they look at what they've done, it's like, yeah, you damn right it couldn't have been you, because you're not a force, right? You've been the one who's been a force. The way that they have treated you has been the preparation for you to be able to navigate those things, right? So you got that level of spiritual protection there, right? So there's no duality about like what you experienced emotionally versus like how you are. It's just you've come to the conclusion that you will not carry the burden of hate and anger, okay? So then we've got Jupiter expansion. Okay, so you've been able to expand your worldview. You're also expanding theirs, okay? Remember, Joseph was able to expand the world. He's expanding the worldview. He was able to take what was available and be able to feed everybody, right? Knowing that these things were coming because he had foresight, right? He had the ability to see things. You have something with you. You see clearly, okay? Some of you, that would be clairvoyance, right? Clear seeing, clear cognizant, clear thinking. You could be all the clairs. I highly doubt it. The only reason I say that is because like some people will say they're all the clairs, and they're not, because they still have spillage, right? They still have emotional spillage. When you have emotional spillage, that doesn't make you clear thinking, right? That you have to clear that up. We could talk about it. Just email me. Yeah, so we've got Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is about knowledge, expansion, culture, higher education, right? But we're also talking about a jovial creature, right? We're talking about half man, half beast, okay? So you are a beast at this ability to have foresight. You are someone who sees so clearly that when you know, because the Sagittarius is the archer, right? When you set your sights on something, you go after it, because you have clear sight. That's what makes you a force, right? And your siblings know this, okay? So you've not exposed anyone. Maybe that's what they're concerned about. You're not exposing them, okay? So Uranus. Oh, okay, what a theme. So Uranus is affiliated with Aquarius, right? So like you're a prodigy. You were a prodigy when you were little. But people, I don't know why you growing up in a family that just you can't be smarter than them. right? You can't have knowledge that they don't have, because why would you be the only one to have that? Because you were designed different based on the collective you were born into. Okay, so there's a video where I kind of break this down. Okay, so if you look at Eastern astrology, right, you look at how they do the year of the ox, the year of the rabbit, the year of the snake. Okay, so those are specific years from date to date, right? So that's a particular collective. Now the thing about that collective is it is not all encompassing of maybe like the ox. As solely just an ox, right? There you've got the wood ox, the metal ox, right? Like there's a breakdown of like the type of archetypes that are presented in here, right? And then you would have to take that interdisciplinary and stuff, right? Like I mentioned this earlier. You would have to take that, the Sagittarius, Jupiter expansion, and look at where does that line up with Native American astrology? Where does that line up with Western astrology? Right? Like, where does that line up so that it speaks to whoever you are and whatever it is you're doing? Like, even the story of Lilith and herself, okay? If you don't know the story, look into it, okay? It's quite fascinating. And I mentioned psychology and all those other great things, right? When you look at the staff, right? When you, it doesn't matter, do your own research, come to your own conclusions, because me trying to tell you to you, I'm trying to keep this video under 15 minutes, okay? This is my, like, personal obsession with Greek and Roman mythology, because it's Greek to Roman, right? And so that tells me a lot when we talk about like Mount Olympus, but we also talk about pyramids, we talk about Egyptians, we talk about Thoth, right? Where we talk about what is it that moves certain people, right? We talk about like where even was Joseph and his family? What part of the the country was that? Okay, you know, like how do some people get dreams? Why don't others? Okay. So when we're talking about dreams in general, we're talking about Uranus at Aquarius. Aquarius is all about innovation, but different, uniqueness, right? And so they tend to be different in general, right? So what you're doing, the way you're approaching something, you've always been different. But now I think that there's a level of acceptance about that, only because Uranus is affiliated with Aquarius, and Aquarius is also like mass media, the society in general, community, okay? So you're speaking to a collective, a community, a group of individuals who resonate with this real hard, because this is their lived experience as well, right? And so also this tells me is maybe you have a sibling who needs to talk to you, okay? Who really needs, who has been doing some healing work, and who has really reflected on like, yo, like, I don't know how to say sorry, but I need to, right? And so it doesn't affect you though, right? It not in a negative way, okay? Because whatever you're doing is deeply related to your career, but it does help other people, even your siblings. So if you're ever wondering if your siblings were watching you, or if they knew about what, yes, they do watch you, they do see it, they do care, they do know. No lies were told. But truth is experienced differently when we start adding emotions into it, right? Because our emotions can sway our vantage point. And so at the end of the day, you walk away that person who is a force to be reckoned with, but who turned all those interactions, all the dynamics that were in play, like when it came to sibling rivalry, competition, etc. You made a career out of that shit. So much so that it's allowed you to be accepted. Like it blows people's mind, because what they rejected, the world accepted, right? Like people need more people like you. People want more people like you. You speak truths in a way that it provides comfort for others, and they're like, oh my God, sustenance has actually occurred. I have been fed. You know, for the first time in a long time, someone has validated I'm not fucking crazy. Like these people really were not for me, right? That also makes you look at your family like, you know, I forgave y'all a long time ago, but it took this long for you to accept me in the same way that others have, right? So I also get that like maybe there was negative reinforcement, negative feedback about like who you are and how you are, which wasn't true, because it didn't quite meet up with like what the world was saying they loved about you, okay? So if you don't know the story of Joseph in the Bible, I don't know why that's coming through so heavy, go read it. Or if your name is Joseph, I don't know, but go read it. When I channel, I don't take what comes out, because it's probably important at that time. So We're going to do the Sophie's pool over at the Instagram at LLC Tactful, but whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope that this was helpful to you. Remember, not every therapist is a healer, not every healer is a clinician, and not every clinician will minister to your soul. You can book your session at tactfuldisruption.co. Our Heal the Ages programs returns this winter. Oh, there's so many moving parts in my life that, like, you know, we'll get it out there, we'll get it ready. Maybe you'll benefit from that. Maybe the Heal the Ages program would be most appropriate for any of you who really went through it with your family, especially your siblings, okay? That program will be very beneficial to you. It's $75 per session, $75 per person, and it lasts a total of 6 weeks. We've already done this program twice, so we've had a total of 15 participants at this point. Oh, I don't know why I was running it on so many time zones, but we do we do run it at different time zones because we want to accommodate your schedule. But if you need this healing, reach out. It'll be available soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.